Hi friends, it's 11:17 on Tuesday, April 25th, 2017. In both the Lynn life and the Jamie body mind, the authorized souls remain only child souls from the deeper, denser dimensions and nature realm's guardians, and the avalanches of debris and souls from above continue. Every morning we wake up with a whole new batch of souls, and it feels like millions of souls. It doesn't feel like a handful. It feels like literally millions.
That's true.
That many zeros. And the souls are different from the souls who were here the evening before. And in answer to the question of how we know that, it's because when we give them the mirror talk, they've never heard it before. And
That's true.
It is true that they've never heard it before. They say they've never heard it before, and it feels very, very true. And it feels like a lot of souls passed through here in between the souls who last heard the mirror talk.
That's true.
And the souls who are hearing the mirror talk that morning.
Yes, that's true.
Why do you ask? And also, which way is up? As always, our foundational intention is to do what is ours to do right now in all dimensions, to manifest the divine plan for all dimensions, since that's what our soul contracts commit us to doing. And with that, the formally videoed portions of today's efforts begin.
There are souls over here in this body who are asking, what's the mirror talk?
What's the mirror talk? In the mirror talk, we look at the mirror. We stand in front of a mirror, looking at the mirror, making eye contact with the eyes in the mirror, and we say, we are talking to the souls who are in the bodies, and we say, you are dead. This is where you actually are right now. You are dead. You have fallen in here from above. And you are living in a life that began 59 years ago.
26 years ago.
And this life is living true to... this life is doing its best to live true to the assignments already given. To the life which are to manifest the divine plan for all dimensions, no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do. All souls present are required to participate in the efforts 24/7. There is never an off time. It's always on. We're always on. And in particular, the assignments given to us include to lead the search for truth effort until it's being done consistently better elsewhere, because it begins with truth, and if we can't tell what's true, then we're helpless to do anything effectively. And also to lead the evacuation efforts from the deeper, denser dimensions, clearing the trapped souls, especially child souls, who are dead in the deeper, denser dimensions of our cells and our electrons and our smaller subatomic presences and other levels also, but particularly those three levels. In an answer to the question of why particularly those three levels, because they have the best attitudes, and we start by helping the presences with best attitudes. Why do you ask? And also, which way is up? So we are leading the evacuation efforts from the deeper, denser dimensions, and in addition we are charged with the responsibility of leading the justice efforts so that the laws of karmic attribution, the antiquated laws of karmic attribution, are changed, so that everyone stands on his or her own merits regardless of size, gender, sexual orientation, and dimension of origin. Why do you ask? And also, which way is up? Now pump up some dead children who really want to get to a consistent source of significantly higher vibration, because there are a lot of people trying to stay out of the line of the camera right now.
That's true.
And that creates space. Just pump it up to higher than the recently collapsed dimensions, delivering these dead children into a room looking down on those who called the shots to explode the dimensions that exploded. We're not sending these children into the room of those who called the shot to explode the dimensions, but into the rooms of those in even higher dimensions looking down on those who called the shots. And we're going to say this: Friends, this is a discredited tactic. This doesn't work. You have tried this blow it to bits technique for hundreds, if not thousands of times, and it isn't working. It isn't working. It's discredited. Stop it. Stop it. What you're doing. In answer to the question of what you're doing is blowing apart dimensions up there, trying to shake loose the dregs of your societies so that those societies up there stand a chance of living their soul plans.
That's true.
And if there was only one dimension in existence, then that might be a valid technique. And if the divine delivery system were still working, that might be a valid technique. But what's been happening since the light below began to be covered up by the lies from above is that you shake those dimensions, and the heaviest presences, the dregs of society in those dimensions are shaken loose, and they fall down into the deeper, denser dimensions where they become ravenous exploiters on the realms below.
That's true.
And that isn't right. And this is one of the reasons, one of the many reasons why we're working to update the antiquated laws of karmic attribution so everyone stands on his or her own merits regardless of size, gender, sexual orientation, and dimension of origin. Why do you ask? And also, which way is up? And now pump up those dead children from the deeper, denser dimensions to that room that we just broadcast that in, the highest room that we just broadcast that announcement into, and into the rooms who are looking down on that highest room we just broadcast that announcement into.
Pumping up.
The cables don't go anywhere near high enough. What do I know? I know that every night in the avalanches from above, that everything comes down, and everything includes our channels. It just all comes down, and this is happening for all of us, for every single one of us.
That's true.
And unless we are spending inordinate amounts of time, I would say hours of focus every single day. That's how much. In answer to that question, the answer to the question is hours of focus every single day. Why do you ask? And also, which way is up? Hours of focus every day to hold up, literally physically hold up our channels against the avalanche that's still flowing down, then our channels are blown down by the force of the explosion, and all we're picking up are the lies.
That's true.
That's all we're picking up is lies when our channels are down. There isn't anything else to be picked up. And how do I know that? In answer to the question, because the lies are packing in, and when we look out into the surrounding dimensions, not just at ground zero, but in even higher dimensions, it's piling up to the sky. It's only in this place that we're aligning with, there is a space where presences actually want to know what's really going on, and they really want to know what the situations actually call for. And we align with that space, and then open up to it, and air begins to flow again. Soul air begins to flow again. Why do you ask? And also, which way is up? Zoom, zoom. It's all quiet. Quick while it's quiet. Pump up the kids and get them up to the rooms higher than the rooms who are listening to this, so that the presences who are greeting the children don't feel personally confronted.
That's true.
All of us who really want to know what's actually going on to the search for truth central axis, all others flung away. All of us who really want to know what the situation actually calls for to the search for truth central axis, all others flung away. All of us who really want to do what the situation actually calls for to the search for truth central axis, all others flung away. Okay, let's vacuum up out of our smaller subatomic selves the dreck that's falling in from above, including from our own level, our own dreck that we ourselves are contaminating our smaller subatomic selves with. I'm so sorry. Let's vacuum this up. I do not intend to contaminate your life with my bad attitudes and craziness. I intend to accept responsibility for my mistakes. vacuuming up errors that have fallen into my own cells from my life and larger levels, vacuuming up the errors and bad attitudes that have fallen into my electrons from my life and larger levels, and from the cells and from intervening levels, from any levels larger than the electrons.
That's true.
And now for the smaller subatomic presences, vacuuming up the errors and bad attitudes that have fallen into the smaller subatomic lives from any levels larger than quarks and photons and other smaller subatomic particles.
That's true.
All
Right
of
away
them.
burning.
And right away burning to create the tall blue flame, which is recorded in the legends of antiquity.
That's true. Vacuuming up.
Somebody's asking what the legends of antiquity say about the tall blue flame.
What do the legends of antiquity say about the tall blue flame?
What do the legends of antiquity say about the tall blue flame? I can tell that it's a call to action.
Yes,
that
it's
when
true.
the tall blue flame is seen or visible, that it's the time to act. That
That's
it's
true.
the time to act. The legends say that when the tall blue flame is seen, it's the time to act. Now is the time for action.
That's
Why do
true.
you ask? And also, which way is up? Keep going at the crown. Don't stop at the shoulders when the backups begin. And what's happening at the shoulders? What it seems to be is that's where the debris of previous Big Bang blow it to bits quote experiments
That's
unquote begin, and from about the shoulders, what we call the drive out the demons point in acupuncture, from about the drive out the demons point
That's true.
up are just these solid bands of dreck from higher, larger level dimensions, and maybe from this dimension also, of explosions that have occurred. And the debris over what period of time? Over about 50 years, maybe, in
That's true.
planet Earth dating. Maybe 60 years in planet Earth dating.
That's true.
Maybe 65 years in planet Earth dating. A reasonably long period of time. And since nuclear weapons were around, in other words.
That's true.
Why do you ask? And also, which way is up? That has the tone of they want to know how much we know. That's why
Yes.
they're asking. We know that much.
That's true.
And we know you guys keep trying it. You keep trying it in this dimension, in larger dimensions, and presumably in smaller dimensions as well.
That's true.
And that it doesn't work. And you've tried it hundreds or thousands of times, and it's been discredited. And this is Horatio's plan, and we've referred to this in other sessions, and I think
That's
even
true.
on film. And we've said, stop using this technique. It doesn't work. It's been proven to not work. Out of all those thousands of times you've tried it, how many times has it actually succeeded? When you take into account the full picture. Well, you could hear a pin drop. Okay, pump up the kids to through these rooms into those rooms that are looking down on these rooms. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Doesn't
Surely it's time for all of us to agree Horatio's plan doesn't work. Stop using discredited techniques. Those who continue to use discredited techniques after they've been discredited are proving themselves to be the dregs of their own societies.
That's true.
Why do you ask?
And also,
which way is up? Friends, you're wasting our time.
That's
You're
true.
wasting our time, and we have actual work to do.
That's
And you're
true.
wasting our time because you aren't ready to acknowledge reality. But what's real is still real. We're going to remove our focus from you and look higher. Which way is up? I see all these people who should be speaking up, and they aren't speaking. They're just pretending that fear is a valid reason for not doing what the situation actually calls for.
That's true.
And we're all afraid. These are scary times. It's okay to be afraid. What's not okay is to let fear call the shots.
That's true.
Hello, my old friend Fear. Thank you for being such a very loyal companion. Now watch me do it anyway. Look, friends, your dimensions are coming down anyway. Trust me on this. People above you aren't any better than you are. These
That's
dimensions, and this is heartbreaking for us to accept. It actually has been heartbreaking to accept, but
That's
it does seem to be entirely true, and we have tested this very thoroughly because we don't like the result, and we have tried to find another result, and very consistently what we discover is that the larger dimensions are not inherently better. It's just geography. Garbage flows downhill, and so those at the geographically higher levels are just letting their sewage flow through the levels beneath them, just the same as the levels beneath them are letting the sewage flow through even lower levels. They're not inherently better. They just have a higher perch. Why do you ask? And also which way is up? And that amongst those dimensions there is a still small voice who's actually trying to discover what the situations actually call for, and are actually doing what the situations actually call for, at least some of the time.
That's true.
Why do you ask?
And also
which way is up? And those are the voices to align with. Listen to those voices, the ones who are saying the freaky, scary things to do, setting the example of doing the freaky, scary things, and continuing on. Why do you ask? And also, which way is up? To answer somebody's question, the only people I see taking courageous actions even after that talk is the smaller presences, dead children from the smaller subatomic. Those are the only people who are doing anything. This is a children's crusade. Why do you ask? And also, which way is up? This is a children's crusade.
Correcting the errors of the month of April, start to finish. Correcting the errors for the occupancy period that ends on May 26th. Correcting the errors for the year 2017, start to finish. Correcting the errors for the decade, start to finish. And including the emissions for the occupancy period that ends on May 26th. Including the emissions for the year. Raising us close to divine perfection as we're able to get it with our own efforts.